Hello and welcome back to Miniature Addiction Club. This is part 4 of the Simon's Coffee House kit series that I have been making. I have a load of new projects I'm really excited to make, but I thought it would be best to finish this one first before starting anything new. This is the kit build so far, and I have made a few changes along the way, so be sure to check out part 1, 2 and 3 if you haven't already. Now, it's been around 6 months since I last worked on the kit, as I got distracted making my room box, which I'll link below. And because I haven't worked on this in such a long time, everything just got tossed into the box the last time I packed it away. It's a huge mess inside, and unfortunately my glue has leaked out onto my glue stick. Luckily it didn't damage anything, but I'm kind of annoyed because I really liked using that glue and I don't want to waste any. The dried blob is kind of cool though, and maybe I could use that for something else. Let me know if you have any ideas of what I could use this for. I have already made the counter, so today I'm going to be making the piano and shelving component B. The next item I made for the kit was the piano, and I just picked out all of the necessary pieces as per the instructions, and I laid them out on top of the template that comes with the kit to make sure I had all of the correct pieces. Then I started to assemble the pieces following the instructions as best I could. The instructions aren't always very clear and the images are hard to see. So for instance, it didn't say exactly how to glue these 3 pieces together, so I attached the side pieces to the edges of the back piece. Next, I glued and slotted together some more of the piano pieces, and when I went to do a dry fit with the piece I made earlier, it became clear when the piece didn't quite fit properly that I had glued it together incorrectly. So I had to remove the side pieces as well as the dried glue and re-glue them to the top edge of the back piece. It's only a matter of a few millimeters each side, but the pieces are cut to perfectly fit together. It's a good thing this glue is fast drying. Next, I glued the 2 pieces together to form the main structure of the piano. Then I attached the front legs to each side. And attached the side panels as well. Next I glued these 2 strips in place, and then I went ahead and glued the top piece in place as well. and then glued these two pieces together to create the top of the piano. Once the glue had dried, I painted the entire piece in a light duck egg blue. Then I cut out the piano keys and glued them to the wooden piece before gluing the last pieces in place. And that's the piano done. I also made the piano stool and the decorations that go on top. Next, I'm making the shelving component that sits behind the counter. I found the corresponding pieces and I'm just marking them with a pencil so I know I have the right pieces before popping them out. Let me know in the comments below if you like listening to the original background noise in the video. I usually edit it out as I live on a noisy street and I have noisy neighbours on either side of me. I also have 2 noisy dogs and a noisy fiance, so it can be a bit tricky filming with audio. As I said, I usually edit it out and add music, but I'd be interested to know what sort of sound you prefer. Now, the instructions tell you how to measure and cut the thin timber veneer sheet, but I absolutely hate measuring and numbers and I can't be bothered doing it this way. So I'm just going to glue my pieces onto the veneer as close together as possible, but still leaving enough to wrap around the sides of each piece. Once the glue is dry, I'm cutting out each piece. And I'm also going to go ahead and cut out some notches so that I can fold the veneer over without any overlapping pieces. I trimmed off any excess and I glued the edges down. Now, because this is real wood, the folds going along the wood grain glue down easily. However, the folds going against the wood grain do not. This was very fiddly, and so I decided to save time by colouring in the underside of the shelving unit with a felt pen instead of using the timber veneer. You're not going to see the underside, so I don't think it really matters. Now it's time to assemble the pieces. And now we have the completed unit, it's time to make the accessories. This piece is fairly straightforward with only 3 pieces to glue together. The next piece is also fairly simple. I'm just gluing each part together as per the instructions. To make kettle number 7, I gathered all of the items. However, the instructions specify 2 lengths of brown wire, but the picture has a thicker spout than the handle, so I'm using the black wire for the spout and the brown wire for the handle. The instructions say to scrape off the paint from the wire, but I found sanding it worked better, or you could just paint it silver once it's glued in place. Then I glued all of the components together. I bent the wire handle and glued the little lid in place. And placed a tiny little bead on top as well. Then I attached the handle and bent the spout, giving it a slight curve. It was also a bit too long, so I trimmed it down a little before gluing it in place. For the next jug, I cut out all of the paper pieces and folded and glued them as per the instructions. This was kind of fiddly, and if they had just been made out of thicker paper or cardstock, you wouldn't need to have to fold and glue each piece, which would make it a lot easier and probably look neater as well. Then I glued the paper pieces to the clear plastic rod. I also bent and attached the wire handle. Then I went ahead and glued each item to the shelf, along with a few other details, like the box and the coffee bags. And there we have component B. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know in the comments below if you have a favourite miniature kit. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.